Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today, and we are starting here with Lost Soul Aside, a Sony published title and a PS5 console exclusive that's coming out in just a couple of days. So they put out a blog post talking all about the PC features, but they say here that they'll have PlayStation account linking and cross-platform trophy sync. When you first launch the game, you'll have the option to link your PlayStation Network account. Once connected, all achievements earned on PC will sync instantly with your PlayStation Network profile and vice versa. It's truly unlock once, show off everywhere. Your Platinum Trophy journey continues seamlessly across the platforms. So on top of that, they're also announcing the PS5 Pro enhancements. They say, I know many of you are excited to experience Lost Soul Aside on PS5 Pro, so I'm happy to share what we've done to make the most of its powerful hardware. On PS5 Pro, you'll be able to play in dynamic 4K with enhanced ray traced reflections, shadows, and global illumination, bringing every scene to life with incredible depth and realism. We've also taken advantage of the Pro's boosted GPU to push higher texture quality, more detailed particle effects, and even faster loading through the ultra-fast SSD. Additionally, players will benefit from a higher and more stable frame rate, ensuring fluid, responsive gameplay even in the most intense battles. The result is smoother combat, sharper visuals, and an even more immersive adventure from start to finish. So there you go. They're going, I would say above and beyond here for the PS5 Pro. But yeah, Lost Soul Aside is looking pretty good. They've been showing off the gameplay, the different weapons. I think the combat looks incredible. So let me know if this is a game you're planning on picking up on PS5 or PC. Moving on from that, I'm a little bit late to this to cover it in a video, but I still absolutely have to cover it, and that is the fact that Ghost of Yotei Legends has officially been announced, and it's coming in 2026. Over on the PlayStation blog, they say, just announced on stage at Gamescom Opening Night Live, Ghost of Yotei Legends is coming in 2026. Legends is our cooperative multiplayer mode featuring a fantastical supernatural setting in contrast to the grounded world of Ghost of Yotei. And just like Ghost of Tsushima Legends, Ghost of Yotei Legends will be free DLC for all Ghost of Yotei owners. Ghost of Yotei Legends will offer 2-player story missions and 4-player survival matches. This time around, you'll play as one of 4 character classes and try to defeat demonic giant versions of members of the Yotei 6, plus a variety of new enemies that fight alongside them. And they show off a couple of concept art pieces for the new characters you'll be able to play as. They say here, stay tuned for many more details about Ghost of Yotei Legends as we get closer to its launch in 2026. So yeah, a very surprising announcement in my opinion at Gamescom. Probably the highlight of the show for me because I absolutely loved Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Sucker Punch did an incredible job with it. And I was getting a little bit nervous that maybe they weren't going to do a follow-up of some kind, but it seems like they're kind of following the exact same path, where this is not going to be, at least based off of what they're saying here, a full-blown live service game. It's going to be in a free add-on multiplayer DLC, and some people might hear that if you didn't play Ghost of Tsushima Legends and think, this is just some small kind of throwaway thing, but trust me, if you did play Ghost of Tsushima Legends, you know it's not that. It's not a forever game, but it had a really good amount of content, and it was, more importantly, extremely well made. So I'm really, really happy to see that Sucker Punch is doing a follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and I honestly can't wait to see what they deliver here. And, I will say that this is coming, a little bit later, if I recall. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like the fact they're not releasing it until 2026 is interesting. I would have assumed if they were going to do it, it would come a little bit sooner, maybe in like November or December of this year. So I don't want to read into it too much, but it might indicate that they have more content this time around for Ghost of Yotei Legends than they did Tsushima. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is talking about Metal Gear Solid Delta. We have, which is very disappointing to me. So there's a report here from PlayStation Lifestyle, and it says Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater reviews are out, and while critics have lauded the gorgeous remake of a beloved game, tech experts have warned of performance issues. The game apparently struggles to hit 60 FPS, particularly on the PS5 and PS5 Pro, and surprisingly, the Pro version runs worse than the base PS5 version in some aspects. Digital Foundry has published a detailed tech analysis on YouTube, which shows that Konami did not optimize MGS Delta to run at a locked 60 FPS on both PS5 and Pro. The outlet found that the game wavers between 40 and 60 FPS, even dipping to 30 FPS in some areas. The tech analysis further found that MGS Delta's PS5 Pro performance in the frame rate department is, quote, often coming out worse in comparison, end quote. PS5 Pro owners who were looking forward to MGS Delta are understandably frustrated. So yeah, this, man, it can never just go smoothly, right? This is a game that you guys know I've been eagerly awaiting, and look, I'm not going to sit here and flip the table and make it seem like there's no chance I'm going to play this now. But I mean, come on, man. Like, we buy the PS5 Pro specifically to avoid issues like this. This is why we bought the Pro. And I know it's one game, but at least for me, I guess, I'm much more annoyed about this because this is like the game for me, right? And I would be totally fine if this thing didn't go crazy on the PS5 Pro and there wasn't a massive difference between the base PS5 and the Pro, but the fact that it somehow runs worse, I mean, Konami, like, come on, man. You should have just delayed the game and spent more time properly optimizing it. A lot of people are blaming Unreal Engine 5, and I understand that. Unreal Engine 5 has proven to be a very difficult and sometimes just annoying engine that presents a lot of problems across any game that's using it. I understand that, but still, there's no excuse for the fact that they could have just delayed the game, even if it's by like 2 weeks, to give it that extra polish, because they're going to be dropping patches to correct this and fix it. And it's just frustrating, man. I've seen a lot of people saying that, considering this is a $70 game, the multiplayer for it got delayed. It's still coming, but later on, they're saying they're just going to wait. They're going to wait for a sale, or they're going to wait for the patches, and I can't blame you, right? I can't say that I'm going to do that. I'm weak when it comes to this game. You guys know that. But man, this is like I'm shaking my fist at Konami moment here, because like, come on, man. But yeah, we're going to move on from that, and we have Konami saying that if MGS3 Delta does well, they're going to consider a lot of other games to be remade. They say here, we are always thinking about what we could do for the Metal Gear series, but in regards to remaking future titles, currently we're just focusing on the now. And we thought what would be the best way to reach both the old fans and potential new fans as well. At the moment, we are focused on the delivery of Delta in the best possible way to the current generation. And once the game is released, if fans feel that they would like to see more from playing the game, then we would like to consider lots of other games in the future. For now, this is it. So there you go. Let me know what other Metal Gear Solid game you would like to see remade if Delta ends up doing well. But moving on from that, we have some pretty big news for Bungie. Probably the biggest news in a while. Apparently, Bungie boss Pete Parsons is departing the company, and a lot of people are basically in celebration when it comes to this. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons is out at the embattled developer as it continues to go through a significant shakeup. Sony recently said that it will be taking more control of Bungie, and it will be integrating the studio under its PlayStation Studios umbrella. After its acquisition, Bungie was granted autonomy separate from PlayStation's other first-party studios. But flagging Destiny 2 sales and the delay of Marathon has seen Sony step in to try and fix the mess it's invested over $3 billion into. Parsons took the CEO role in 2016 and has presided over Bungie's most tumultuous period, to put it politely. He's also been accused of various alleged scandals and is subsequently not in particularly positive favor with the studio's community. And so, yeah, if you look around, the community is basically celebrating at the fact that he is quote-unquote retiring, and people have been wanting to see Pete Parsons go for years now. But Justin Truman, the former chief developer officer, will take the new role of CEO at Bungie, and he certainly has a tough job ahead of them. And so they both gave out messages here. They don't say anything too significant, it's just kind of boilerplate what you would expect. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see some level of positivity, going in the direction of Bungie. But there's still many people that I don't think have much hope here. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing people say things like this is the best news we've gotten for Bungie in years, and a long time. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, definitely interesting to see Sony basically taking more control. But we're going to move on to the final topic of the video, which is just briefly talking about a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, Phantom Blade Zero. This is being reported by Gaming Bolt. They say S-Game promised a new trailer for Phantom Blade Zero for Gamescom week, but went even further as the director discussed the overall flow and exploration in a new developer interview. The story focuses on Soul, a former assassin of the Order, as he investigates the death of his matriarch. With little time to live, he can access a massive arsenal of weapons, over 30 main weapons, and 20 secondaries are available. However, Phantom Blade Zero will not limit your options. If you want to rock 2 main weapons or 2 secondaries, go right ahead. It's the exploration that's most intriguing. They say they aren't too keen on a large world where players get lost. You'll have hand-drawn maps guiding you, but even then, a typical first run may encompass only 30% of the total experience, with extensive amounts of missable content. So they didn't provide a release date just yet, but they do say here that, you know, they're going to be giving us a release date before the end of 2025. So again, this game is scheduled for 2026 as of right now. So, you know, we should be hearing about that soon. But yeah, people are raving over the gameplay of Phantom Blade Zero. It looks incredible. But yeah, man, over 30 main weapons, 20 secondaries. It's sounding very robust there. And that's interesting to me. I mean, they're saying you'll see about 30% of the total game in your first run. That's kind of crazy to me. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.